Greetings from Snake Mountain Boat Works on Wednesday, June 29, almost July, almost 4th of July. And this has been a long day, but we met our goal. The port side planking, bottom planking has all been removed, and I'd like to share some of what we discovered and some of the issues we face going forward. The really good news is that this Chris Craft's stem, knee, and gripe are just in excellent condition. We'll scrape and clean a little bit. There'll be lots of bilge paint applied. But beyond that, there's no question but what this very critical part of this hull, very critical component of this hull, is really in just excellent shape. That's the good news. The keel also, except for the back, the aft end, is in good shape. We'll take a first look from the distance. Well, we probably can't quite see it from here. We'll keep going back. But I set up a straight edge so that you can get a feel for the extent of the hog. It's actually more significant than I thought yesterday. As we pan back, let me just stop right here and point out a couple of items that we will need to address when we get to the actual reconstruction of the boat. I have a straight edge here. This straight edge should hit all of the ribs. As you can see, it does not. It rocks and rolls. This rib is low. It's beneath the chine. This rib, which is another one of these sistered affairs, and will be replaced. This one, if you remember yesterday, has a counterpart on the starboard side. We will replace this entirely. This is just, could not be a more improper repair. Then we come to the next one. This rib has been fabricated anew, but because this one's sitting so high, this one appears to be low. And the problem with that is Chris Craft designed this hull to have a continuous curve from the chine to the keel. And then as we go aft, that curvature decreased, in other words, the radius of it increased and increased till from about, just about the middle of where the engine sits, no, just behind the engine, back, it gets quite flat. So when we remove the chines, and you can see the problem I alluded to yesterday, this replacement piece of oak is much taller than the original mahogany chine. So it will be removed and replaced as well. We will also have to remove this plank, the full length of the boat, in order to work on the chine framing, which on this side is sistered in exactly the same way, at exactly the same position on the hull, right here. And the engine sits right here. So this butt jointed sistered chine framing couldn't be fabricated in a worse place. Again, most of the ribs appear salvageable, but as we move back and get to a rib like this one that the prop shaft passes through, and the one forward of it, it's difficult to tell now, but it seems solid here, but I took out my utility knife and probed in the area just beneath the, well, actually it's just above the keel when the boat's right side up. And it's soft in there. We've got the engine. We've got the engine right here. So this is a critical rib, as is the one forward of it. The one forward of it has the problem, see if I can pick the spot, that it has dropped. Well, dropped when the boat's upside down, dropped. Raised when the boat's right side up. But at both ends, this rib is too low. The chine is easily the chine framing, 3/8 of an inch above the rib. And that means that when the inner planking comes down towards the chine, it must bridge that. And no, and for those who are wondering, this is not a weep hole. The weep holes are all the way up here. They're right along the keel. So this guy needs to be repositioned. Well, that's tough if you're trying to reposition going into end grain through old holes. I can't believe any even if you sunk dowels in there, you'd still have a compromised joint right here. So we will likely rebuild this one. We know this one that's been scissored on both ends will be rebuilt and replaced. This one's even worse. Oh, let me turn to here. This one's flying free. It's not even attached any longer. And I can see, I rest my case. I can see 2 stainless steel fasteners were at one point driven through from here, and they have failed, and so this guy is just rocking and rolling. I don't know if we have any others. The one I just pointed out a minute ago is also flying loose, and you can see it's not just that the chine. Watch right here. Right? This next one aft is tight. If we pan aft from there, I'll try to move slowly so I'm not giving everyone an even worse migraine than you have already at the end of a long day. There, that one's loose. That one's tight. This is tight. And the last piece I thought I would try to share with you today is a number of people were really interested in my observation that the boat, the hull is hogged at the behind where the prop shaft tunnel comes through the keel. So I think I'm getting low enough for you to be able to see. Let's see if we can pan in just a little bit. I've put a straight edge here, and actually starting ahead of the prop tunnel to here, and I actually don't have this, now I do have this on the top of the keel, centered on the top of the keel. At this area through here, we have well, I don't have a tape and I don't have 3 hands, but we've got somewhere between 3/8 and 1/2 inch. I would say it's closer to 1/2 inch than 3/8. And what that means is that this frame is in the wrong position. And maybe that one too. This whole part of the boat has just, here we go upside down again, has just sunk. into the hull. So we will make a scarf joint, probably, I would really like to do it in this great big oak plate, but I can't, it's too far back. We may even find ourselves drilling a new prop shaft tunnel, because the further the scarf is away from the transom, the better. But I really think, as with what we did on the Shepherd, if we were to work in this area, having done some work on, oh look at that one's loose as well. And then here, this frame's really in pretty good shape. I mean, it's solid. It shows no sign of degradation of any sort. The holes that have been drilled in it by the fasteners will be toothpicked and Gorilla Glued. My thought is that we will place a shim beneath between the keel and this rib. And I'm not sure about that one until, let's see what happens if I put a straight edge. Oh, yeah, you can see the problem. Maybe you can see the problem if I turn the camera. We have a pretty good sized gap here. Now I come off that rib. Look at those next two ribs right there. There's our hog. So all of this in this area has dropped, and that means the hull's probably pushed out a little bit over the years. I mean, that's just age. Pure and simple, that's just age. But now is the time to address this. Take this hog out, get these ribs where they should be, so that as water flows along the bottom of the hull, it's not making a whoop-de-doo right here. We want this boat to get up on plane, and that is helped by the flatter this surface is, the easier it will be for the boat to get up. Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now from Snake Mountain Boat Works.